Barefoot Cavalry, barefootcavalry.com. T-Rex, Wussy, Dinosaur, Dino, Sinclair. Posted on August 28, 2017 by Yojak454. The imagery of a Secretary of State above and separate from the administration which derives its power from the people could only give cover to, say, a corrupt State Department run by either Hillary Clinton or John Forbes Kerry. Rex Tillerson has shown a lack of cojones, wilting under imaginary pressure from Chris Wallace, another episode of Rockefeller, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Was anyone else aghast at the G20 videos showing Macron careening along at a gallop through European leaders who exhibited no reaction until he made his way to our president? This was an attack on America. Say this again to yourself. Macron careened through the crowd to approach the person of our president, unannounced and nefarious, a Rothschild operator. Within weeks, Anthony Scaramucci appeared like an insane comet streaking across the D.C. sky, took out his six-string razor and nicked Bannon. The camera never shows a close-up of the two unlikely friends on the end after focusing on Madam Hitler. Mr. Tillerson obviously lacks diplomatic skill. T-Rex was incapable of fully staffing his department. He is well known for throwing temper tantrums, but never appeared before Congress shaking his fist, never standing up to the deep state for the American people to fix the absolute trash that has overtaken our foreign policy entity, which has become as worthless as the Department of Education. State Department under Hillary Clinton was a shadow CIA. Under John Forbes Kerry, the Monroe Doctrine is over per United Fruit. The State Department was a pass-through for cash, uranium, and some very deep secrets. John is a skull and bonesman. Any more talk of American values for the American people from the State Department should cease and desist. The power is from the people. We elected a president who you serve, Mr. Tillerson. Or if you don't, get out. Get out. Save the nation from more embarrassment, allowing Chris Wallace to drive a wedge with controversy and a UN committee. Pipsqueak, mealy-mouthed Kim Jong-un on Monday. 3 missiles launched at the end of the week. Denton's homeboy. There is an immense buildup going on at the Department of Defense. Many contracts going out, many defense industry locations going back to work, but who really benefits? Not able to complete the job? The American people's president entrusted you to run the State Department as his foreign policy representative. If you have no idea of your duties, resign immediately or do your job. Now that Bannon and a poor man's Kissinger, Seb Gorka, exited the White House, the leaks have stopped. The leakers are now out in the open with Chris Wallace and the other Sunday shows. These are the same shows that broadcast Susan Rice's lies on Benghazi, not only covering up the deaths of an American ambassador and 3 other Americans, but leaving Europe open to game-changing immigration from Muslim Africa. This is not looking good for America, like all the Semper Fi stuff when it comes to the troops. But the zeros have always been a piece of work. The equality that T-Rexer speaks of is socialism. Americans' equality is freedom. The ability to move up, down, or laterally is our right. Whoever else around the world possesses freedom is not our problem. When Mattis speaks, we will work with our friends. Remember how the Greeks went down, and then the Romans. You are truly a historical piece of work, Secretary Mattis. We are not the world. We are America. We have one leader, President Donald J. Trump. Barack Obama had an easier time prancing around D.C. President Trump has been opposed by bureaucrats, by the Congress, and now the executive branch. Once President Trump brought you a-holes up there with him, the feeding frenzy began. Mr. Mattis, when you turned and looked at the camera that you knew was taking your picture and said, "Listen to your NCOs now," we are reminded of another recruiting video you did with a nuclear subcrew. Over there, it was pussy. On this one, it was bad hombres. These are the slickest re-up videos ever devised to prevent money on training up a new troop. It should be noted that the troop is about 40,000 shy of what he should be making. Only the best should be kept. Let incentive lead the way. Hold the line for a dime. A Senate that can't get anything done. A Senate that does not work for the interest of America, but for its own interest of its patrons. The same patrons who raised up our Secretary of State, the lowly engineer. The patrons have prodded Congress to prevent the executive branch from making any recess appointments after allowing Barack Obama free range. The passing of Obamacare by the Senate essentially gave Obama control of 1/3 of our economy under the Senate Majority Leader Harry the Body Reid, a known thief spawned in Nevada, while we witness good people like the Bundys locked up in jail. Have you had enough of this? Read this here. If Heritage understood in May 2011 exactly what Obamacare would bring to American families, why are people like this not in our government today? Therefore, we go into Afghanistan with the friendlies, and we're not killing more than 500 terrorists for every 100 of us. We don't stay another month. Rise up. Don't let them take our best boys and flush them. They seem to be in the habit of doing that now. Extortion 17 is still a festering wound. It happened under the watch of America's military leaders. CNN says Antifa has the right to be violent because they are ultimately about peace. So we're going to apply that logic here. According to CNN, violence in the goal of peace is fully approved and warranted. At this point, CNN condones civil war.